What's up, guys? I'm Logan. Welcome back to the Rise and Vape Show. You guys ready for another basics video? I hope so, because I'm coming at you hard this time. Advanced stuff. Most people, when they start vaping, start with a regulated device. By a regulated device, it's got a chip inside of it. That chip regulates amperage and voltage and has a number of safety features put into place: backward battery protection, short circuit protection, things of that nature. Even though using a regulated device, this is still a really good thing to know. And today we're going to talk about Ohm's law. Now, I know there's a million videos out there about Ohm's law. Most of them are very, very good. I highly recommend that you not just watch this video about Ohm's law, but that you watch a few of them to kind of broaden your grasp on the concept of Ohm's law. This is a really, really basic, just electrical, fundamental thing regarding batteries and resistors and ohms. You know, ohms are the measurement of resistance. So I drew up a little thing, Ohm's law. Okay, if you guys want to freeze frame that, that's cool. Oh, what's his name from Home Improvement? Really? What's his name? Somebody please in the comments below. Who am I from Home Improvement? Alright guys, so Ohm's law. Ooh, math. Right? Algebra? Letters? Gross. It's really not as bad as it sounds. Let's just go right down through the basics of everything that you need to understand in order to do these honestly really simple equations, which are ultimately going to determine whether or not you're doing something safely, right? That's the whole point of this, harm reduction. So let's learn. Let's take a minute. Let's soak it in. All right, first things first. Ohm's law. That fancy little triangle is kind of universal. V over I R. Something really easy, something simple to keep in your head that's going to kind of help you remember what you need to solve for. V is for your voltage. Voltage is the pressure inside your battery, the electrical pressure. So think about if you took a bottle of soda and you shook it up, right? There's all that carbonation. Now, if you crack that lid, it's going to go, right? That's the pressure inside the bottle. And we usually measure that in PSI, pounds per square inch, is normally how we would measure pressure like that. But inside a battery, we measure it in voltage. And voltage, when that battery is full, how much pressure is there ready to just, shoot electrons out of it? You know what I mean? That's your voltage. Now, probably the most common number that you're going to use is 3.7. Most 18650s, 2700s, most lithium-ion batteries that we use in vaping are 3.7. Now, you'll see 4.2 an awful lot as well. 4.2 is the cap on most of those batteries when they are 100% charged all the way. Basically, right after they're fired the first time, they're going to significantly drop. You also deal with voltage drop, which is metal inside your mod, things like that this electricity has to flow through before it ever gets to your coil, and that is going to involve voltage drop as well. The most common number that we see is 3.7. It's usually just kind of a good standalone number to go off of. I highly recommend that you guys watch Mooch's battery safety stuff or check out his charts that he has where he's tested all of these batteries, what's safe to use, amp limits, things like that. But you'll see a lot of it is you're going to be dealing with 3.7. Voltage, pressure inside the battery. Resistance, R. Resistance is your coil, and your coil, your resistor, is going to convert the energy that's being passed through it into usually heat, especially in our situation with vaping, transfers it into heat. So that resistance is how resistant is that coil at holding back electricity, and then at that point being able to convert into heat. So if you didn't have a resistor, all of your electrical current would flow from one end of your battery right into the other, and that's bad. Amperage, which is kind of weird because it's I, math. Amperage is I. So amperage is your flow of electrons, how much current is actually flowing. Your amperage, think of water in a hose, because that's really kind of the best analogy that I can give you for any of this. So how much water is flowing through that hose at any given moment? That's your amperage. And last but not least, W, which does not fall into the triangle, is wattage. And there's a formula to find out your wattage. The biggest number, I guess, for people is I. When it comes to vaping on a mechanical mod, you're always looking at amperage. Again, Mooch's battery charts and things like that come into play here because of CDR, which is your continuous discharge rating. So your CDR is how much amperage that battery can handle continuously discharging. So, none of us just hit our button really quick and we're done. We hold that button down, we vape, right? That is continuous discharge. I'm holding that button down. It is continuously outpouring electrons and energy, and that's your rating. So that's the number you're always concerned with, really, honestly, most of the time when it comes to your batteries. Now, you could be concerned with your milliamp hours and how long this battery is supposed to last. But when it comes to safety, you're really looking for your amperage. Now, why Ohm's law is so important is because if you have a resistor that's too low of ohms, doesn't have enough resistance, and your battery outputs more amperage than it can handle, then you have too much current being forced back into the battery than what it can handle, and it will vent, overheat, and possibly explode. All incidents of, injury from vaping and from vapor products have been a result of improper battery use and poor fundamental understanding of Ohm's law and resistors and coils and how all that ties into safety. That's why I'm doing this video. That's why this is important, because I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So, are you guys ready? We're going to do the math. If I have a battery and it is recommended for 20 amps, that's my battery. There's my little 18650. There's my battery. This is the whole circuit. This would represent basically all of the metal and all the components that are involved in getting your electrons through your coil and back in. I've heard this argument go both ways plenty of times, and I honestly truly believe that your electrons flow from the negative to the positive, not from the positive to the negative. Regardless, this is how this works. So I want to know if my 20 amp battery can handle a 1 ohm coil. Most of us in the vaping world do sub-ohm vaping, but if you're a mouth-to-lung person or just old school about it or whatever, we'll start with 1 ohm just to make this easy. Okay? I know that this battery is 3.7 volts. We're going to go with 3.7. And I have a 1 ohm coil. And I'm going to look for my amperage, I. So, let's go over here. We're looking for I. What do we need to do for I? I is going to be voltage divided by resistance. See that? V over R. We're looking for I. Okay? That is how that is going to work. Let's do a little bit of a trickier one, huh? Let's go real sub-ohm here. Say you're rocking a single 18650 mechanical. Your voltage is again 3.7. You've got a 20 amp rated battery in there. Let's do 0.3, right? So we've got our 20 amp rated 3.7 volt 18650 in there. We're going to go with a 0.3 ohm coil. There you go. You're going to be at 12.3 amps. Now that's where it's important. You got to say, okay, I'm going to be pushing 12.3 amps. My 20 amp battery can handle that. You guys still following me here? Math videos, this is tough. I want to try to explain this to you guys as well as I can, but also try not to just like kill your brain. Let's say I want to make a 0.08 ohm coil for those cloud chasing crazy people out there, right? We're going to put our 0.08 ohm staggered Fralian clapped in razorback dragon scale coil in there. Not a good idea. On a single 20 amp rated 3.7 volt 18650, a 0.08 ohm coil would be detrimental. It's too low. That battery will overheat, that battery will vent, and that battery could possibly explode and hurt you and people around you. That's why Ohm's law is important, guys. It's just math. I know it sounds really complicated, and you have to look up batteries and what their recommended discharge is, and find out, you know, what the best batteries to use are. If you're using dual battery regulated mods, most of them run in series. When you get in mechanical duals, there's series and there's parallel. We'll probably do another video to cover that, but for this video, I think we did a pretty good job at just kind of covering the basics of Ohm's law, what's really important to you as far as your safety goes, and just kind of covering how that works. It's hard to make Ohm's law and like math entertaining. I don't know.
Oh, please don't use me. I could hurt you. Please no. Bad, 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 bad.
But that's not to say that 0.08 ohms is always a bad thing. If you're running that on you know, a parallel box that both batteries are rated for like 35 amps, you're going to be okay because of the way the parallel circuits work, but our parallel batteries work in a circuit. But on a, you know, for just basic Ohm's law stuff like this, using a mechanical tube or a single battery mechanical mod, this is as basic as I can make it and help you understand how to be safe, you know, those simple math equations and remembering that triangle. Now, when we get into wattage is really, really simple, okay? So once I've made it here and I've found my amperage, right? Let's just run with this number just to show you how to do that math. I found my amperage, which is I. I know my voltage, which is 3.7. So to find out what watts, now watts is actually the measurement of power that you're getting. How much power are you producing? 46.25 times 3.7. This is crazy. You're never going to run this many watts. Say you were rocking those 46.25 amps, just crazy. You're not going to do that. You know, you're going to be at like 16, 18 amps or something. But, you know, 171.13, you'd be at 171 watts. Now, there are plenty of 200 watt mods out there that'll do that. I honestly don't know many people that vape above 80 watts. But yeah, when you're using a regulated device and you click your watts up and down, the chipset inside is going to do all this kind of math to figure out what kind of output it's going to need from that battery to achieve those wattages at any given time. So it's going to slow down the current, speed up the current. It's going to do all sorts of stuff, boost it in different ways to get you to your desired wattage. That doesn't always mean that you are realistically going to be at 171.13 watts. The chip is going to do everything it can to get you close to that, as close as possible to that, especially when your batteries are dying. Guys, I really hope this helped. I'm sorry if math is hard. I understand for a lot of people math is hard. Math is really easy for me. I enjoy math. So this is something that is really simple and an easy way to make sure that you're being safe. You know, all you need is a calculator and you need to remember that triangle. If you can do that, then you can do the math to be safe. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, talk about Ohm's law and battery safety to new vapors. I think that's more important than anything. Please, guys, go advocate and be the people on the front line that talk about safety. And when somebody's like, oh, well, you know, can I put this zero point .05 ohm on this single 18650? Be like, no, no, don't do that. If you guys want to check the show out on Instagram, it's instagram.com/Rise and Vape Show. I think I did it backwards again. It's this way, /. But for me, it's backwards. But on the screen for you, never mind. If you guys haven't done it already, please get out there and join CASAA. All you need is an email. It's free. You can get everything up to date on legislation in your local areas and ways to be involved. That is going to do it for me today, guys. That's all I've got. I just want to sit down and shoot like a quick kind of basics ohm law video for you, so you're safe and so the people around you are safe, and so that way we can keep on vaping and not have things blow up. I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe. You know, they give you the little like thing on the bottom of the marker that's supposed to be like your eraser, and it works like once.